last session, while we are looking at returning to Bethel, the place of encounter, we studied the importance of at least two things. The first was that Bethel is a place of covenant, and secondly, Bethel is a place of prayer. Today we will look at number 3. Bethel is a place where encounters take place. Isn't that so awesome? In Genesis 28, verse 10 to 19, Jacob had the encounter where he had a dream of a ladder set up on the earth, reaching to heaven, and where angels of God were ascending and descending on it. And God spoke to him, saying that he, that's God, will go with Jacob wherever he goes. Again in Genesis 35, verse 10 to 15, on his way back home, Jacob had an encounter with the angel of the Lord who hit him on his hip but promised to bless him in his generations. So what does this mean for us today? As we return to the place of listening to God and to the place of prayer, this step will follow. More and more you will become aware of the presence of the Lord around you again. Even of angels coming and going, protecting you, shielding you from attacks and from accidents. Angels are with us all the time. We are just not aware of them. They are God's agents on assignment to you and me to help us in our daily lives, but also to assist us in what we need to fulfill the task God has given us on earth. Those who set their hearts on seeking the face of God and His will, by His grace, will have special moments of His presence with them. They will be aware of His leadership, of His nearness, of His hearing His voice and receiving revelation of what to do and when to do it and how to do it. It is very, very special. And the more we focus on the Lord in listening and waiting on Him, the more we will become aware of His nearness and His involvement in our daily lives. The fourth significance of Bethel is this. It's a place of meeting with God. These points of significance are all intertwined and the one leads to the next. So when you study the life of Jacob, you will see that he had regular times of prayer, and one result of his prayer life was that he was often visited by an angel or had the Lord appear to him. We read of one such an account in Genesis 31 verse 11 to 15, where the angel of God appeared to him in a dream. In the same way, when you and I establish ourselves in the Lord, we cannot grow if we do not set up regular times of prayer and spending time in His presence. As you continue to establish spending time with God in prayer as a daily routine, you will begin to have a longing for these times with God. And when you skip them for whatever reason, you will feel that deep longing and drawing in your heart after Him. And that is just a sign that He misses you too, and that He is really present every time you present your heart before Him in prayer. If you are faithful in establishing regular times with God, because you have now got a habit to meet with Him on a daily basis, He will come to meet with you on a daily basis. And if you are not in that designated place, on that designated time, like He called to Adam in the garden, you too will hear a voice in your heart calling you, Estelle, where are you? He longs for our company as much as we long for His. If you have neglected your personal times with God, will you not return there? Set those times of prayer with Him again and keep it to the best of your ability. There's a sweet presence that comes to rest on us when we do. Oh, this is the sweetest, sweetest thing in the whole universe. Nothing can compare with these special moments when you meet with your Maker in sweet communion and holy fellowship in the place of prayer. There's nothing more enriching, more fulfilling than this, than hearing His voice. It exceeds all possible riches and blessings we can ever experience in this life by far. It is the greatest, greatest treasure of all. I'm going to leave the best one for last. So, until next time, will you not carefully revisit the points in this session? Keep them in mind in your times with God this week and ask Him to speak to you about each one.